While in Memphis, he would meet for the very first time and become friends with a guy using the name Master of Pain. These days, we know him as The Undertaker. They apparently had a horrible match against each other as they're both, well, super green. And they actually get put together in 1990 as Death Express. That's right. Not the Rock and Roll Express, not the Midnight Express, but Death Express. The Undertaker at this point is being called the Punisher.
Do you know why they call them Death Express?
Why's that?
Because every night that they worked as Death Express, they killed those towns.
You're going to tell that to Mr. Calloway later?
You damn right I will.
I thought you would.
I'll call him later on and say, hey, I was thinking about like revamping that Death Express because I understand every time y'all worked as Death Express, you killed the town.
Can't wait to hear how that goes for you.
I ain't scared.
Undertaker, of course, winds up working for New Japan and then lands a gig in WCW as Mean Mark Callis. So that's the end of that team. When did you first hear of Charles Wright? On the independents in Memphis or not until he joins the company?
No, the first time that I think I saw him was when he had his gig in Global in Dallas, the Global Wrestling Federation.
I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, I think that was the first time that I saw him, and I think he was a Soul Taker then.
So we know that he would eventually work in New Japan, go over to Germany, Austria.
That's easy for you to say.
It is. Working for Otto Wands. You know,
Otto Wands.
We haven't spent a lot of time talking about Otto. Did you know him? Did you meet him? Did you work with him?
No. No, I never met, never worked with Otto. My brother did. My brother went over and they would do matches in rounds.
Yes.
So he had to work, I think like his first match was in the, and they worked in the same venue in Austria all the time or wherever the hell they were. And Tom goes out and he's got to work with this old timer named Steve Wright. Alex Wright's dad.
Wow. And
Tom gets in there and Tom's, legit tough cat. Beat shit out of me many times. And I'm a 14-time Black Belt Hall of Famer.
Is it up to 14 now?
It will be. I mean,
just 11 checks away. Congratulations.
It's, do what you got to do. And you too can be an 18-time Black Belt Hall of Famer. But Tom, is having this match. He's trying to work. He's trying to show him he can work.
Sure.
And Steve Wright is just beating the piss out of him. And you have, like these rounds, 3-minute rounds or whatever they are. Then you go back to your corner and you have cornermen. And Tom's cornerman was big cowboy Scott Hall.
Wow.
And Tom's like, what the fuck? Do I owe this guy money? He's stiff as shit. He's like, yeah, fuck, man. You gotta go out and fucking beat the piss out of them right back. Fucking go in and pop him in the mouth. And then they'll fucking loosen up. I said, you stiffen up, they'll loosen the fuck up. And Tom went out and returned
fire
a few of those shots. And guess what, man? He all of a sudden started working with him.
Ain't that magic?
Yeah. It's like the Japanese would do that too. You go over and see with the gaijins and come in and they'd beat the hell out of you and just see if you're going to hit them back.
Listen, I know over the years you guys have worked with other promotions, whether it was 97 for the Luchadors or New Japan once upon a time. What about the CWA? Was there ever any discussions about, hey, what if we could work with Otto? Or did that never come up?
No. Never came up.
So he goes back to being the Soul Taker in the summer of 91, briefly has that run in Global. Did you just see him on the program or were you actually there in 91?
No, he was gone by the time I got there.
I got you.
And I think he was Papa Shango at that time because I was talking to Mark and I had left, and Mark was looking for things in different ways to, possibly bring me back. And he says, hey man, you may be a good mouthpiece for Bear. They're going to do a voodoo gimmick with him as Papa Shango. And thought that I could be a good mouthpiece for him because I was obviously looking to try and get back and do whatever the hell I could do. That didn't work out. And Papa Shango was born. Papa Shango was already on his way to WWE by the time that I was in Global.
Well, that WWE debut you're talking about happens after a tryout in December of 1991. It happens under the name Sir Charles, and it's been said that his close friend, The Undertaker, got him the tryout. He said in interviews, he being Mr. Wright, that Vince immediately put him on the payroll. But Vince told him he had a baby face on a monster heel body. That's something that we haven't really talked about before. I guess the idea is we want something to cover his face. Did you feel like Charles had a baby face but a monster heel body? Because that's a great description.
I'm not sure that I would have thought that then, but once you look, if you have a conversation with the Godfather,
yes,
and he smiles, you'll understand.
Yes, it's not very hateable. He's very likable.
Oh yeah, I mean, and he's just a wonderful, wonderful guy. But when he smiles, yeah, it's just like you just want to hug him.
Yeah, it's infectious. I agree with that.
Yes.
Papa Shango was born. It's a horror-style voodoo character, and they're going to cover up that baby face with some face paint. He comes to the ring wearing a black top hat with a skull that would bellow out some smoke. This very dark, eerie music. Man, it's just a fantastic presentation. He debuts on Superstars February 8th, 1992, and he defeats Dale, don't call him Dusty Wolf. Now, I know you're not in the company, but what'd you think of this gimmick the first time you see it? A voodoo persona in pro wrestling.
Absolutely loved it.
I knew it.
I loved it. I was happy for Charles. I didn't even know him, but he was a friend of Undertaker's. That was good enough for me. But the gimmick was like, oh my God, could I have fun with this? And I actually called Vince and gave Vince a ton of just really silly, crazy things to do with the.
Give me an example. What was a crazy idea you had for the Voodoo Man?
Well, I think they actually did one of them where he put a spell on the guy in the ring and made the guy take bumps, and it was basically like wrestling the Invisible Man.
Yes.
And the vomit, the throw up with Warrior.
That was your pitch?
It was like in the middle of the match. Yeah, I mean the vomit, but I wanted it to do it in a match.
Got it.
Where all of a sudden his opponent just starts throwing up uncontrollably because he's doing voodoo on him. Who do that voodoo? Do that voodoo? Do.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah. So I looked at that gimmick and thought, oh my God, this could be a blast.
Well, he's thrust right into the main event scene at WrestleMania 8. He's going to interfere in the main event. Hulk Hogan and Sid Justice. I guess the story was supposed to be that, well, he caused the DQ, but apparently he missed his cue. He's late getting to the ring to improvise. Sid is going to kick out of Hogan's leg drop. I guess Shango was supposed to break that up, but anyway, there's a DQ because Harvey Whippleman interferes. Is this a legendary timing mishap of, it's the main event of WrestleMania and a pin is supposed to be broken up, but it's not? Or does it not even get that deep?
Yeah, I never really heard that much about it, even when I came back, so I don't know that it was that big of a deal. But I can imagine looking at the entrance there in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. I don't care who you are. That's a long ass run.
Yes, it is.
To the ring. So maybe they were anticipating, it wasn't as involved as, hey, anybody maybe want to time how long it'll take Papa Shango to get to the ring during the day?
Well, that's fair.
I mean, it's, I'm not sure that he's running a 4-second, 150-yard dash here.
Right.
It's like, I can only imagine, and I don't know that this is what happened. Again, I wasn't there, but I can only imagine that there was the thought of, okay, we'll send you, And when they do whatever they're going to do, go on this thinking, we're in an arena. You can hit the ring pretty quick, not realizing that you have to stop and get oxygen halfway down to the ring.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So, yeah, I don't know, but it wasn't like this horrible thing that I heard about after I got back. So I don't know that it was, who knows? I wasn't there.